Welcome to class number 10, our third class on managing debt. It's hard to believe we are already on our 10th class. That's a reflection on you and your commitment. In our last class, we discussed the benefits and risks of credit cards. In this class, we finish off our discussion with a few more points to consider. We'll also cover what credit reports and credit scores are, how they work, and why they are important to review. Then we'll conclude with a couple quick debt-related items. Let's get started. One of the main risks associated with credit cards is the potential for your credit card to get lost or stolen, or your credit card information getting stolen. What should I do if my credit card is lost or stolen, or if I notice fraudulent charges for my credit card information being compromised? It's a good idea to call your credit card company immediately to report that your credit card is lost or stolen, or that your credit card information has been compromised. Many credit card companies allow you to do so directly through their website or through their app. The credit card company will likely freeze and cancel your card immediately and issue you a new card directly to your address on file. If you do have unauthorized charges on your account, you can usually dispute these charges by calling your credit card company or by filing a dispute through your online account or app. Most credit card companies will review the dispute and remove these charges from your account within a week or two. It's important to note that according to the Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, U.S. federal law through the Fair Credit Billing Act limits your loss to $50 of unauthorized charges. Most credit card companies will cover the entire loss. What if I am traveling? Should I let my credit card company know? Credit card companies have very sophisticated security systems that can identify suspicious activity with a high degree of accuracy. This is one of the pluses of artificial intelligence, or AI. For instance, if you just purchased gas 5 minutes from your home in New Jersey and 10 minutes later someone tries to buy gas with your credit card information in Seattle, the system will almost certainly flag the Seattle activity as suspicious and deny the charge. Your credit card company will usually inform you of the suspicious activity and may see if you want a new card issued as an additional precaution. While a credit card company can usually account for travel, it might not be a bad idea to notify them of a long trip ahead, especially if you're going outside of the United States. I'll leave that up to you, but I would suggest doing this before traveling abroad. Also, many credit card companies have fees for international activity and for charges that are not denominated in the US dollar. It's important to review how these charges work before traveling abroad. Also, some credit cards are not widely accepted in foreign countries. It's never a bad idea to order foreign currency from your financial institution or from a foreign currency exchange service, and also order a few traveler's checks from your bank, credit union, or another provider. Having several kinds of payment methods overseas will help you from getting stranded. Next, we're going to cover two very important debt-related concepts: your credit score and your credit report. What's a credit score? A credit score is a numerical measure of your credit worthiness. That is, How worthy are you to have money lent to you? In other words, how risky of a borrower are you? Will you be able to repay your debt? A credit score for an individual is also called a personal credit score. A credit score is used to help determine what types of debt you qualify for, what the interest rate on your debt will be, whether you will need to pledge collateral or have a co-signer, and what your credit limit will be. The most common credit score that you'll hear is called the FICO score. The FICO score is named after the company that developed the scoring system, Fair, Isaac and Company. The FICO score has evolved, and now you may hear of variations to it. Your credit history is used to determine your credit score. Generally, the FICO score ranges from 300 to 850, with higher scores being better. The average FICO score is about 695. Credit scores of 800 to 850 are normally considered to be exceptional. From 740 to 799 are considered very good. From 670 to 739 are considered good. From 580 to 669 are considered fair, and anything below 580 is considered poor or very poor. The standard FICO score is calculated using 5 components. Payment history represents 35% of the entire score. Outstanding balance levels represent 30% of the score. Length of credit history represents 15% of the score. New credit represents 10% of the score. And credit mix, that is, do you have different types of debt or just one type, represents the remaining 10%. I hear a lot of people boast about their credit score. And while a higher score is generally better, the credit score is not the best measure of your financial health. Again, your net worth and your net income are much more important. The credit score was literally designed to help lenders maximize their profits. Therefore, it's designed to give the highest score to the ideal borrower from the lender's perspective, so the lender can make the most money with the least risk. For example, a person with no debt and many assets may have a lower credit score than a person with some debt and not as much in assets. That is, individuals with no debt are penalized in their credit score for not using credit. Additionally, if you pay off your debt early, you are often penalized from a credit score perspective. This is another reason why it's so important to focus on raising your net worth. Having a good credit score is beneficial if you need to borrow money, like through a mortgage. But having a perfect credit score at the cost of a lower net worth should not be the goal. There is an alternative to the FICO score called the Vantage score. The Vantage score was developed by the 3 credit reporting bureaus. It also ranges from 300 to 850, with higher scores being better. It's very similar to the FICO score, but there are some differences in how it's calculated. How can you see your credit score? Well, most credit card companies can provide this to you. You can also get your credit score from the 3 credit reporting bureaus. What's a credit report? A credit report is a document that lists all of your credit history, as well as all of your current amounts borrowed. The 3 credit reporting bureaus that issue individual credit reports are Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. When you have any credit activity, your lenders will report this to the credit bureaus. Activity includes your payment history, outstanding balances, active and closed accounts, and any inquiries from potential lenders. That is, whenever a potential lender views your credit report. There are two types of inquiries: hard inquiries and soft inquiries. A hard inquiry is made when you officially apply for credit. The lender that you request to borrow from makes a hard inquiry to evaluate your credit history. Your approval of the inquiry request is required. Hard inquiries lower your credit score and remain on your credit report for 2 years. In contrast, a soft inquiry does not affect your credit score. This is used for credit card offers or advertisements and for background checks, like when you are hired for a new job. Soft inquiries may not require your approval to be done. Since hard inquiries lower your credit score, it's important to try and not have too many hard inquiries on your credit report, because that could be a red flag to potential lenders. If you are borrowing money, you can't avoid them, but you can limit how many times you are applying for credit. How do you get your credit report? You are entitled by law to receive a free credit report from each of the 3 credit reporting bureaus annually. Visit annualcreditreport.com to obtain them. You can also get additional reports for a small fee from each bureau. It's a good practice to review each of these reports at least once a year to ensure there is no unauthorized activity in your name. We will discuss identity theft more later. One other concept I'd like to cover is something called a cosigner. A cosigner is someone who agrees to be legally responsible to repay a debt if the primary borrower does not repay the loan as agreed. A cosigner is often used when someone would not be able to qualify for a loan otherwise. The cosigner is included on the initial loan application and is also listed in the loan agreement. A loan will also show on a cosigner's credit report, and the cosigner's credit score may be negatively affected if payments aren't made on time. Both the cosigner and the primary borrower go through a credit risk assessment. When someone applies for a loan, a lender assesses the credit worthiness of this potential borrower and, if necessary, the cosigner. This process is called underwriting. When you hear loan underwriting, think of a lender assessing the risk that the borrower and the cosigner won't be able to repay the loan. That concludes our discussion on managing debt. Before we go, I have some homework for you. Set a plan to review your credit card account statements monthly for unauthorized or fraudulent activity. Like we covered in our lesson on bank accounts, I think receiving a paper statement is better than an electronic statement because we are more likely to actually read it when it comes in the mail. Obtain and review your credit report from each of the 3 credit reporting bureaus at least annually, or more often if you think you need to. Decide whether you want to review all 3 reports at the same time or stagger them throughout the year. Also, review your credit score at least annually so you know where you stand. In our next class, we'll begin getting you ready for our big unit on investing. We're going to do so by learning some very important concepts that relate to finance and economics. Don't let the terms finance and economics worry you. I'm going to teach all these concepts in a way that is very easy to understand for someone with no background in any of this. If you have any questions at all, please contact me at opusmonetequestions@gmail.com or comment below, and I will try my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. We rely heavily on recommendations. Please follow us on Instagram, subscribe to us, and like this video on YouTube, and share our program with your friends and family. See you all in class number 11. Peace!